Hi everybody. In this lesson, I will talk about horizontal FlatList in React Native. So we have an application like in weather forecast. Firstly, I open the previous project and now I will define a React Native component for the horizontal FlatList. I create a new file, flatlist.js, and this file will I import some of the default library and package. Inside this we have the component horizontal FlatList. So the view in the horizontal FlatList has a flat direction is column. So inside this we also have a view with a fixed height, and inside the view we have a FlatList. So the FlatList has a fixed size of the height is a fixed of about 150 pixel. The FlatList here has the opacity, for example, has a background color, and the important property is horizontal true. Horizontal true means that it can be scrolled horizontally. And the FlatList item, where is this? So now I have to define it. The horizontal FlatList item, I define it as a class, and the property is an item, the index, and the parent FlatList. I copy this and create a new class. This is the internal class because I only use in this file. So we have a horizontal FlatList item. We have a render function, and inside the render we can have a view. So inside the view we will have the information for hour, for the status, for example rainy, sunny, etc., and the degree in Fahrenheit. Yes, the Fahrenheit or Celsius depending on your proposed. So inside the view we firstly have to define. So we have a file for the data, for the input data. So here we have the horizontal FlatList data. So the FlatList data here we have the one variable. The variable is an array. Inside the array we have a multiple object, and the object has a status, and status can be rainy, can be sun, can be snow, etc. So we can get this icon from this name. So I use the React Native React vector icons for importing the icon. So let's see its icon types. There are various type of icon. So I use this for example. So in this I can search for weather, for example, and inside the weather we have material designs for Android and flat design for iOS. So let's create one icon to see the name. So we have the name for iOS, we have the name for Android, and I will use this name to separate between iOS and Android depending on your device. So let's first we define a horizontal status. Is a horizontal status depending on the status here, so it will point distinguished between iOS and Android. So we have property for iOS, property for Android, and each of the property has a name. We have iOS rainy, we have a material design rainy. So I will come to this using dot horizontal status dot rainy, for example. So I can access detailedly by point iOS for iOS version and point to Android for Android version. And we have a multiple status. We have cloud, we have thunderstorm, we have rainy, sunny, and depending on this status we have the file name for each of these status. And the FlatList data, we have multiple hour, 1 p.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m., etc. And each of the hour we have the status, and we have the degree in Fahrenheit or Celsius. So this is an array. So we have to export this array to allow it be public, so any file can access it. So we use the export syntax. For example, export with the name means that the file has been public to other file, so any file can access this. So in the horizontal FlatList, I can import the variable inside the file. So I import the variable horizontal status, horizontal FlatList data to the component. So inside the component, I can add the props or the property. Data is equal to horizontal FlatList data. Point to the array, and then the item could be the property of horizontal FlatList item. So inside the item, we have the first text is for hour, for example 7 a.m., 8 a.m., and the value will be this dot prop dot item dot hour, and here is the hour property of the object. So I get this from this object. And what about the degree? How can I get the degree? So it is a special text. The next text we have the icon. No, the next text is degree. The degree here is Fahrenheit degree, so it is here Fahrenheit. So I can add the emoji and search for degree. So we have Celsius or Fahrenheit. So let's click to Fahrenheit. We can insert the special character to this. Between text and between two texts, we have an icon to show about the weather status, rainy, sunny. So I have to add or install the Reactnative vector icons library. So install this package by using yarn, and you can see the package to check by showing the content of package.json. So we have Reactnative vector icon has been installed here. Okay, so let's come back to this, and I import the icon from icon component from the library ionic icon. So you can see the name using this website. So you can modify an icon by set some of the property. For iOS, if it is iOS, it will get the name from iOS, and if it is Android, it will get the name, the icon name from Android. For example, MD Rainy or Material Design Rainy. Okay. Then inside the index.js, I can import the horizontal FlatList. Import horizontal FlatList from the file and make it as a root component. And you can extend from component. Okay. This is okay. Now you can scroll left and right. But you see that this is a warning that you do not add the missing key for data array. And how to fix this? This is very simple if you add a key, but here I show you the property of key extractor. Key extractor means that it will extract the key from the data list. So here I use a arrow. The arrow will be the key because the arrow is unique between the element in array. So here the warning is disappear. because the key has been found. It is error. So how can I add a text to here? So we have a text to here. The text here show you that it is a weather forecast. This is a weather forecast, and it is above the flat list. So it has a color of black because the background color is white. Okay, so we have a weather forecast here, and now you want to add a background image to here. And how can I do this? So I can add a view with the absolute position because it will be the absolute position full screen, not depending on your any other component. So it will be saved as a background. And I have just downloaded an image here, for example weather.jpg. Here I download it to this directory, so I can access to this by using the image component. So the image component has the width and height is null, and you can set it to full screen. So it also has the background color, no colors or transparent, and the source point to the path. Okay, so we have the background color here, very nice. So now I want to make it touchable, means that you can touch or click to the item, FlatList item. So you have to you can add the touchable opacity here or button here. And this button will be full screen of the item. It will be full screen of the item. So if you touch or click to this touchable opacity, it will call the onPress function inside this. So the onPress function will show you that you press this arrow. For example, you choose this arrow. Okay, 5 a.m. It's 4 a.m. Yes, it is okay. Or you can click to any item inside the flat list. So the lesson here is end today. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel for more exciting videos or download code in GitHub.